This is the S&P 500 Spider ETF SPY one-day reading for February 11th, 2025. It's currently February 10th, 2025, 10:55 p.m. Eastern Time. SPY at the time of this reading, $604.85. That's USD. The shuffle video for the February 11th reading was created on January 10th, 2025 at 12:41 a.m. Eastern Time. The overall theme and behavior for the day, the devil card indicating an intentional fake out or shake out, some sort of tricky chart behavior that's intended to make us do the wrong thing impulsively. So be very, very careful today. The devil card doesn't often give a good indication of direction on its own, but when we combine it with the monthly, we're seeing sideways rotation attempting to establish support. And then we've got a cross-reading congruency here with the high correlator, the Princess of Swords. Is very prevalent in the theme card or in the monthly reading. Princess of Swords at the high correlation, indicating a resistance level on a multi-day scale that we decline from and then return to at least once within the time frame of the 11th. It's also, the high is also within close time proximity to the lows for the day, and then the low significator indicating a sharp decline into the low. It looks like there's a fake out at the high and a fake out at the low. So more than one fake out, very likely. And then the nullified trade card, not giving us much guidance as far as trading, but let's get into it here. So in the pre-market, we have a peak that we sell off from pretty notably into the open, where we have a notable move higher right at the open. That move higher turns into a decline to and through support to meet another support. We rotate sideways and then break down through more supports there in the first half hour roughly. It becomes kind of like pretty erratic behavior there in the first hour and a half, back and forth through the same price level. We're going to revisit a crest there that we recently met before, between roughly 10 and 11, probably closer to 11, but somewhere between 10 and 11. And there should be a sharp drop there from a high to a low. A lot of price change covered, a lot of volatility between 11 and 12, with that high and the low, with our first high and our low taking place somewhere within let's say an hour, somewhere within that 10:30 to 12 o'clock time frame. So we go from a high to a low, and it's like a U-shaped dip from that high between 11 and 12, U-shaped dip between 12 and 1, back into a high between 1 and 2, where we have this rally along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance and meet another resistance before pulling back to somewhere between those two price levels. And then we have maybe a second, like an additional high here in that 1 to 3 o'clock hour. It might be one high, it might be two highs there, hard to say. But by the 2 to 3 o'clock hour, we should have an overbought crest or close that we sell off from through multiple support levels. The last hour of trading, the Magus card usually the Magus card indicates a pretty good opportunity to close out of a trade. And when you combine that with the Princess of Discs, that's very likely what that's telling us. It looks like it's going to be pretty mixed, but likely to the upside into the close. And then either at the close or in the following day, we should have a new high of some kind with like a breakout. So as far as trading, what I would look to do is establish that resistance level. Once I've identified that resistance level that we decline from, you might watch us decline from it, open up a long, and then close that long when we return to it later in the day. So probably the decline somewhere between, well, we should revisit a crest there between 10 and 11, probably closer to 11. And then likely a sharp decline from that high into a low. When we see a lowest low or close there, I'd say when we see a lowest low, period, not or close, but when we see a lowest low there between 11 and 1, probably closer to 11 and 12, but somewhere between 11 and 1. When we see that decline into a low, you'd want to open up a long position for a day trade. You could close that day trade either at the highs that we see between 1 and 3, or more likely in that right at the close with that Princess of Discs opportunity. Now, what you're looking for is that resistance level to be revisited, and that will be your indication to exit. If we don't revisit that resistance level on the 11th, then we're very likely we'll see it again on the 12th. And it looks like we've got more sideways fluidity, equal amounts of bulls and bears, like maybe price swinging, something like that, with sideways behavior, highs and lows on top of each other there for the sneak preview for the 12th. And that's SPY for February 11th, 2025. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. As always, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You know where to go. You know what to do. Blessings to all my angel investors. I'll see you on the next one.